writers dream in color or black and white? How different are mystery writers from other human beings? We're featuring tonight a panel of successful mystery writers for your edification and enjoyment, each having their own ideas about these questions and others, and probably have outrageous answers. So grilling, I understand, is one of the things that is kinder than boiling, so go ahead and grill the mystery writers. Our panel of writers tonight are Patricia Smith Wood, author of the Harry Kinsey Mystery Series, Bob Kidera, author of the Gabe McKenna Mysteries, and Margaret Tessler, author of the Sharon Salazar Mysteries. We would like to have had more people on the panel, but these three are so full of information, we thought it might be overkill. So, ladies and gentlemen, our mystery writers.
Well, good evening. We hope you're ready to hear all about mysteries, and we hope that during the conversation that we're going to be having up here, that we get some questions from you. So be thinking of questions as we talk about these various things. I've known these two people a while, and they're really great people. So I'm thrilled that we're able to talk to them and get some answers. One of the first questions I wanted to ask each one of them was, why did you choose mysteries as your main writing endeavor? Sometimes we all write different types of things, but all three of us are mainly at this point in life mystery writers. So I want to start with Ms. Margaret. What made you veer toward the mystery genre?
I liked reading mysteries, and I had the audacity to think, maybe I can write one. And I wrote short stories, none of them were mysteries, but I was encouraged to try my hands at a novel, which I did. And I thoroughly enjoyed writing it. It's a little rambly, but it was fun to write. And once I was hooked on mysteries, I really was not interested in writing anything else.
I can echo that. When I look back at what I read through most of my life that was fiction, it was almost all mystery or thriller. Mostly I read biographies, but the fiction that I read was mostly mystery and thriller. And then the films. I'm very visual when I write. And I love the old black and white noir films from the 1940s and the 1950s. Those kinds of films and their imagery, their shadows, the characters in them kind of drew me to write mysteries when I finally picked up the pen.
Well, I have a kind of similar story. Most of you have already heard this, but as a kid, I listened to a lot of old radio programs in the 1940s, because that's what we had. We didn't have television. And I loved all the different mystery shows. Those were absolutely got my blood going, and I loved them. And I loved, too, the movies, that you'd have Humphrey Bogart and doing his thing with the Maltese Falcon and all that good jazz. And with Norman McCall. And it was just something I grew toward. And when I was a teenager, I used to read a lot of cat and dog books, mostly dog books, because nobody wrote about cats in those days. And but I got a mystery series called the Judy Bolton Mystery Series, and I loved it because she was roughly my age, and her best friend was a boy. He grew up to be an FBI agent. My dad was an FBI agent, and I just thought, one of these days. So anyway, that's got me going. And plus, which my dad, being an FBI agent, used to talk about some of the stuff, the cases that had gone on in the past. And that made me think, wow, you could write a story about that. So, the second question, once you chose mysteries, what prompted you to write your particular first mystery book?
I was interested when Bob talked about location, 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 because I was mesmerized by a stretch of scenery that we travel now in South Texas, and I wrote several pages about it, and then one day it occurred to me that I couldn't have a book with just my rambling about scenery, so I better come up with a plot to do it. And I don't know exactly, because it's been such a long time ago, what got my brain going in this particular direction, that I just thought I wanted to write about this town that I loved. So I had my character go down there, and I had this idea about breaking some stereotypes, and I think at the time I also probably added a few of my own without meaning to, but I lived in a border town in South Texas, and I know for a lot of people, hearing the word border town, they had a certain kind of negative image in mind, and I wanted to clear up that image. I loved this town, and I loved the people, and they did what people did everywhere. We had Pizza Hut, we had Lily, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I wanted to show my town the way I loved it.
Yeah, I think when you start writing any type of fiction, that first book is a decision, because you're drawing a line in the sand and putting a stake in the ground or something. This is my turf. And so I had to think about all, there are subgenres in mystery, right? And there's noir, there's hard-boiled, there's what am I missing? It's the one I decided not. Well, no, the cozy. Yeah, you can tell what kind of mystery it is by what the people drink. In a cozy, it's tea, wine, and there's a lot of cats running around. And so I decided I was going to do kind of a hard-boiled, noirish, develop that kind of style and those kinds of characters. The other thing is I can't write love scenes without them kind of collapsing into frivolity and humor. And so I figured I'd better not try a romantic mystery, so I stuck with a hard-boiled.
Oh, Bob. Well, there are many aspersions cast against the cozy mystery, and I defend it to the death, no pun intended. I love those mystery things, and I knew that I wanted them to be rather gentle mysteries, and not a lot of gore, and not a lot of car chases at high speeds and stuff like that. But I honestly thought, I don't have any imagination. And it turns out I always have imagination, but I just didn't trust it. So I found a real life murder that was unsolved and decided to fictionalize it and solve it, because I knew a lot about that murder. And I thought, plus the fact that although the murder happened around Las Cruces, I could move it to Albuquerque and it would work just as fine. So that's what I did. And once I started doing that, everything just started flowing, and the imagination took over. Because once I sat down, I found out that the first two characters that I invented, once I got them fleshed out, they started talking to me in my head. So don't put me away, because truly, this happens. And all I had to do was write down what they told me. Or I saw them moving, like in a movie, or on television. I saw them moving, and I would describe what they were doing. And that's how I was writing the books. So sometimes your imagination just takes over. Okay. My next question was, do you use real personalities in your stories? And do you ever tell that person that you've done that?
In my third story, I definitely used the proprietors of a bed and breakfast. And I named them, and they were tickled to death that I had done that. They got me a big sweatshirt that said, "Be careful or I'll put you in my novel." I have used other people and given them fictitious names, and from what I've heard from other authors, nobody recognizes themselves anyway. You can have the most horrible person there is. You can put their name on it, and they still wouldn't recognize it. So I hear.
To me, the supreme joy in writing fiction is getting to create the characters and just conjuring them up. And yet I will admit that I am influenced by people around me or even by other fictional characters or characters on TV. But I try to make my characters kind of an amalgamation of several sources so that I'm not just doing an imitation. And I would never ever tell anyone that they are the source of one of my characters. That can only end badly.
Well, in the first book, I don't think I put in anybody that was, oh yeah, I did. It was this god-awful geometry teacher in high school. And come to think of it, I made him an idiot lawyer. And I gave him the same last name, but I changed his first name so no one would know, except his last name was Kurlak. So how much of an imagination do you have to have if you know this guy? But anyway, since then, I hit upon a thing in the second book, and it just came to me, and I don't know why. But this girl that does my hair and nails is the most gorgeous female, and she's so talented. She does so many things. She is a bow hunter. She hunts with a bow and arrow and a rifle. She's just an amazingly well-rounded gal. And it came to me that she was going to become a homicide detective sergeant. And I put her in the book. And it was, a lot of times when she's doing my nails, I would sit with my iPad and read to her. And I got to that part because she says, "I love for you to read to me." It's just like listening to the radio. So I was reading and I came along and I used her name for Breeding Pies. And she just squealed, "Oh my gosh, you got me in the book." And she was so excited. So I decided after that I would do that every time I wrote a book, and I've got characters salted in there every now and then. Okay, who are some of your favorite well-known mystery writers?
I do tend to like female mystery writers. I like Sue Grafton, I like Mrs. Carnegie, and Agatha Christie, of course, and I can't think of any others off the top of my head.
Number one for me is Raymond Chandler, who is not only brilliant, but he got such a late start to his writing career that he inspired me in that way as well. I like a writer named Donald Westlake, who writes kind of harebrained, slightly off-centered characters that have a kind of a cracked comic element to them. I like Simon Brett, who is a British mystery writer. Robert Parker, who wrote the Spencer Mysteries. And among the contemporary thriller writers, my favorite is Michael Connelly, who writes the Harry Bosch series. By the way, if you have Amazon Prime, you gotta watch Bosch.
Oh yeah, Margaret. Oh, she pointed that out. I have so many favorites. It's hard to. Sue Grafton is definitely one of them. And Margaret Cole is a really good. I love Anne Hilleman, what she's done. I love Tony Hilleman. I loved all of his books. And I think I own every one of them. And I think I own every one of Anne's too. And she does a great job. I liked Agatha Christie, and I loved Margaret Sutton, who wrote the Judy Golden stuff. But I've gone back since then, because last time I read it, I think it was 15. And I went back and read one and I thought, okay. But, yes.
I don't want anybody to think I'm a misogynist. I love P.D. James. I think she's a wonderful, wonderful writer.
Thank you for that. Nice one. Okay. Who are some of your, you did that. When you run into a wall, right whilst writing a mystery, how do you get around that wall?
I just pretend it's not there and I go do something else like eat chocolate.
I let a story kind of percolate inside me for weeks or even months before I start writing, so I generally have an idea of what I'm about to do. So I don't really experience a lot of writer's block. I'm very blessed in that regard. If I'm stuck on a small item, I do one of two things. I either go for a walk or I take a shower, in that order. Okay. For whatever reason, I have found some of I've been able to figure out some of the toughest, most difficult details when I just get myself doing something else that doesn't involve my mind at all.
Well, there are lots of things on television that entertain me, especially mystery-wise. Blue Bloods is one of my favorite programs. And now that I'm getting MeTV, my God, it's got all this real stuff. It's got Perry Mason every day almost. It's got In the Heat of the Night, which I really enjoy. Even Matlock has some interesting little twists in there. And when I get to the point where I don't know where I'm going anymore because they've said, hold on, good night, I'm sleeping, and you're on your own, kid. Then I try to just go and relax watching some sort of mystery characters and watch them beat their heads against the wall and do stuff, and I think, oh, there's an idea. Maybe I can twist it around and do this instead. Okay, the next one. Sure, this is one of my favorite questions. Do you outline or are you a pantser? Is there anybody in this room that doesn't know what a pantser is? You don't know what a pantser is? A pantser is somebody who writes by the seat of their pants. They don't outline. Outlining is one thing, sitting down and just letting it all fall out of you is a pantser. So that's my next question.
Basically, I'm a pantser. I just start writing and I go along and go with the flow. But after I've written about 8 chapters or so, I stop and take note. What have I done? And where am I going? So I have a really sketchy outline of what I've done, and an even sketchier outline of what I'd like to do, which may or may not pan out.
Yeah, I think when you're writing mystery especially, you don't want to lay it out in too much detail because we all like those unexpected twists and turns that sometimes only pop into our head while we're writing. I use a 3-act structure, and I outline the first act, and then I write it, and then the second act, and then I write it, and then the third. But before I do any of that, I usually write the ending, the last couple of pages, so I have some idea where I'm going, without determining in advance how I get there. But I have that star in the distance that's calling to me at all times.
I'm impressed. I wish I had that star. I'm obviously a pantser. I'm too scattered to be anything else. And I need people talking in my head. So there you are about that. I don't ever know for sure where I'm going. Maybe sometimes at the beginning of a chapter I think I know, and then by the time we get to the end it's changed. So I think, oh, Right, what do I do now? But sometimes, back when I was, like in the second book, I would get some ideas ahead and think, okay, now I wanted to go down this road. But then I get through that road and think, okay, we'll see what happens next, because I don't know. Have you ever, either one of you, taken an actual crime and fictionalized it for your mysteries?
Yes, I did that with my second book. My daughter had gone to her class reunion, and 8 years earlier, one of their classmates had been murdered, and the murder had gone unsolved. And one of my daughter's best friends was a detective with the police force, and I said, well, maybe I'll talk to him. 5 years later, I got around to talking to him. By then, 13 years had gone by since this woman had been killed, and her husband was unfortunately the logical suspect. And I started out writing this story, and I was going to solve this mystery, and APD was going to just be thrilled that I had done all this to help them. And I got partway through, and I had a friend who was in a newspaper clippings for me, and she emailed me one day, and she said, guess what? The cold case, you had solved that mystery. It was not the husband. And for his sake, I was very glad. For her parents' sake, I was glad. But you can't write a mystery and say, oh, by the way, some stranger did at the end. So it kind of freed me up. I decided to make it a real whodunit. And I think I enjoyed writing that book more than any other book. But it was certainly inspired by a true crime.
I have not explicitly based any of my books on an actual crime. I've never written a true crime novel. The closest I've come is in my fourth book, which revolves around the human trafficking enterprises here in New Mexico. So I used an unfortunately contemporary criminal activity in general and fashion my story around that. I am going to be writing, my next book is called Hell Ship, which after I finish the next Gate in Kendall, and that is historical fiction. So I am basing that on the experiences of a prisoner of war in the Pacific during World War II.
So this next one won't have anything to do with game? Well, you already know that I based my first one on the murder of Cricket Kugler in Las Cruces in 1949. So you already know that. My second one, I knew about a murder and I decided to feature some of it in the book and the rest of it I just tossed away. And then there was another incident that I read about that I included in that second book as well. It wasn't, I didn't know all the details, so I didn't know how it really ended, but I made it the way I wanted it to. So that's, sometimes you can get just a kernel of an idea, and then you can run with it, and you can, it's fiction after all, you can say, you can end it up however way you want to, so that's fun. If you wanted to try another category of writing, what would you choose?
I dabbled in memoirs because, not that I have such an interesting life, but just that I would like to write down things for my children to remember.
Has anybody got?
I might get around to memoir. I don't know if I want to spend that much time in reflection. I'm having so much fun writing the mysteries and the suspense that I'm not at this point looking to leave the genre, although I am going to do a standalone historical fiction, which is something I've always wanted to try, but I'll probably come back to this genre after that.
I never thought too much about writing some other kind of genre, but after my mother died, she was almost 99, and I got to reflecting, and I I'm still going through stuff of hers. And she was quite a character. I think everybody sitting over there knows that. And she was very young. She hadn't yet become 20 when I was born. She became 20 2 months later. And I always felt like we grew up together. So I thought about it. I've come up with this title, Erasing Ruby. That's your question, sorry. Have you ever tried writing about people in your family? I just answered my question.
That's a loaded question. I've said this so many times, you might be tired of hearing it if you've heard it before. If my family soap operas ever run dry, I won't have anything to write about.
I'd say if I've written about anyone in my family, it's been obliquely. All right? That's just fraught with too much peril. I'll wait till they die and maybe listen after that. I do use some of my late father-in-law's more colorful sayings in my books. All right, so I make use of some of the collective wisdom of my family in my writing.
Well, I already sort of answered that question. I would also like to write about my great-grandmother, because she was born in 1871, and I knew her until I was 11 years old. She died in 1950. But she was also very colorful. Came from Missouri on a wagon train to Texas, and somebody told me, somebody who's doing part of the genealogy, told me that the TV show Wagon Train actually had an episode with that particular wagon group. And if I could ever find out what the episode was, I would see if I could find it. Is there one particular method when you choose a storyline? Newspaper stories, an actual mystery someone discusses with you, perhaps a dream you've had?
A lot of times it's just a sentence that comes into my mind and I go from there. The one that I'm working on right now is I looked out our kitchen window one day and I saw our neighbor, who's usually very nicely dressed, in her pajamas. And I thought, and I said out loud to my husband, what is Connie doing outside in her pajamas? And the next thing I knew, Connie had opened her trunk and was putting something in it. Well, she's a lovely person, and I'm sure there's nothing sinister about what she was doing, but boy, did my imagination go oh yeah, I have a sinister story going.
Oh dear, let's see. I did have one, it happened to me once. I had a dream in which an entire plot revealed itself. Wow. Okay. I was torn between getting out of bed and staying in bed and seeing if I could do a whole series. For me, though, I have maybe a general premise for a plot. Who knows where inspiration comes from, really? It's magic, and we've experienced it, and if it was something we could conjure up at will, this would be a whole lot easier. So what I do is I concentrate on my characters. For me, the story always flows from the characters who are a part of it. And I spend a great deal of time talking to imaginary people.
I cut out newspaper clips, stories, little pieces of trivia, odd little happenings, and I stick it in a file, and someday I'm going to read it. But I feel like, in a way, I'm a squirrel storing my nuts away for the winter when I don't have any ideas, so I can just fall on that. So, here we've been spilling our guts to you. What else would you like us to reach down in the bottom and pull out? Yes, ma'am.
Do any of you produce a character Bible or anything like that so you can keep track of like what color eyes the characters have and stuff like that?
Yeah, I had to do that at the very beginning because I kept forgetting what I had already said about
Repeat
people.
questions.
So,
Repeat questions.
big question.
Repeat questions.
Oh, the question, I'm sorry. She wanted to know if any of us ever did a character Bible where we discuss, where we write down the character's age and name and birthday and where they grew up and all that information about it. And you almost have to, at least with your main characters, and especially if they're going to live on in a series, because you can mess up so bad if you get to the third book and you said something completely different from what you said in the first book about that person. So yeah, I did it for the main characters. And anybody that I'm worried about in the book, I do a biography kind of a thing so I can understand what's going on with them.
I don't go into a lot of detail, but I definitely keep a chronology. I need to know when my characters were born, when they graduated high school, blah, blah, because just like you said, sometimes you can get mixed up. I don't go into detail about the way they look. So if they've changed from a blonde to a redhead, I look pretty, oops.
When I finished the first draft of my first novel, I let my wife read it, and we're still together, by the way. And she took a look at it, and I said, "What do you think about Gabe McKenna, my protagonist?" And she's always very honest with me. She said, "Gabe is the hole in your donut." And I knew I had a lot of work to do that, because here he is, the hole in the donut is at the very center of everything, but there's nothing there. Right? And so I did stop writing, and I took a couple of days, and I wrote an entire biography. Now it's 10 pages, maybe tops, of Gabe McKenna, where he was born, where he went to grammar school, who his grammar school buddies were, what parish he belonged to, what he studied in school, his military service background, where he met his wife, his deceased wife, and where their marriage took place. And I went into all of that, not because I was going to cram all of that into the book, but because I needed to know this guy in order to write him. And if you ever plan on writing a series, you also need that depth of information, not just to reveal a little bit more and a little bit more of your character with each book, but also to be consistent from book 1 to book 4 or 5, because your readers will notice that if you're not.
Well, yes.
This is a comment that was made at the last panel, which was the historical fiction panel. It said, "Let the reader get to know the characters slowly." Do you agree or disagree, and why?
Okay, the question was, do you get to know the characters slowly? And if you do, why? Is that what it?
Well, do you agree with
Do you
that?
agree with doing that? And if so, why? Okay. Well, when you're doing a series, you run the risk of repeating yourself for the pleasure of those who have never read the first 1, 2, or 3. And then you get to a point where I can't keep rehashing all this stuff. So I feel in each book I reveal more things maybe about a particular character or more. But if you want the whole thing, go back and buy the first book, I can't, in a cozy mystery, you're trying to keep their interest going. And if they've already read the first 2 books and you keep reiterating what's in the first 2 books, they get bored. And I do too, for that matter. So
I think that to me, that just kind of comes naturally. You can't say everything about your characters in the first paragraph or the first chapter even, and then gradually get to know your characters, I believe.
You have to tell the reader enough about your character up front that the reader understands the motivation for your character's actions in the story. But you don't have to go beyond that initially. What you give, you can't do an information dump, and you're not writing a biography, but we all make first impressions. And so you have to give a first impression, at least enough about your character that the reader wants to know more about them. Okay, so that's that's what I would say. You have to think within the context of the story, and that's especially true in mystery, where you have to be fair with your readers. You have to give them enough information to figure the mystery out. You can't introduce the killer on page 235 and they drop from the sky kind of thing. You can't do that to your readers. You have to provide them. You're feeding them. You're feeding them as you write. And each chapter you have to nourish them with a little bit more about your story, and you tease them a little bit. You give them a twist. And especially with your characters, you have to, you're trying to establish a relationship between your characters and the reader. So you have to develop that slowly and deeply, I think.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Do you write all your mysteries in one point of view, or do you have multiple points of view for characters? Have you written that?
Oh, point of view is so much fun. I have a main character and her best friend, and she has a husband, and they have another lady that works with them who also happens to be the mother-in-law of my main character, and then her husband. And so I have all these different characters, and depending on what I am feeling in my head is happening, I go into the head of whoever, in one chapter. I'll switch from chapter to chapter for points of view, because I want you to be able to see the big picture, and you're saying, well, this person's doing it, and over here at the same time this other person's doing this thing. And you can't do that so much if you, well, Margaret writes in first person, and I admire her tremendously. It would make me crazy because I wouldn't know how to do it.
Back to say that I do write in first person. It makes the character more real to me. However, it's very limiting. And in one of my books, I really needed the viewpoint of another character. So I have a chapter with this character's story, her little story, and the name of the chapter is her name. I even put it in a different font, but I just had to do that. But mostly my story is told from my first person point of view.
I chose first person point of view because it's one of the common characteristics of the subgenre that I write, the hard-boiled narrative, the narrator detective kind of thing. But it is very limiting. That's the negative, is you can't convey anything except what is seen and heard and felt and experienced through your first-person narrator. And that presents plot problems. When I was doing my third book, Cut, Print, Kill, I had a couple of things that had to happen, but Gabe could not be. There's no possible way he could be there. And so I talked to my publisher, because writing in multiple points of view, if you don't do it right, a lot of editors and publishers won't even look at your work. But I asked what she and they thought, and she said, go ahead and try it, I think you can do it. So I had 2 or 3 very short chapters, 2 to 3 pages maximum, that had to be in third person. I tried to give them all the same sound and feel, atmosphere, so that there was at least consistency within them. But I wouldn't recommend that And so you got to be very careful about what point of view you take. The other reason I chose first person was because my wife had, planted that seed of doubt in my head about whether Gabe was engaging enough. And first person is I think, the best way to really deeply connect your reader with your character / narrator. So I've done it. When I do historical fiction starting next year, I'm going to use third person, just because I can't imagine what I'm about to write in first person.
Yes, sir.
Because of the dynamics of mystery, thriller, whatever, I wonder, do you find that you have a rhythm to your writing? I mean, is it every day? Is it so much writing every day? Or is it just as you're inspired to write?
Well, I write whenever I can and whenever I feel moved. So I don't have a regular writing. I just can't. There's too many things going on in my life. I've got this appointment, that appointment, got this meeting, that meeting, whatever is going on, So I prefer to write later in the day or the evening because I'm more ginned up for it. I don't know how else to say it. No, actually, I've never had any gin, but, well.
Too late.
I write poems. We drink wine. We drink wine. I don't know. It's hard to get it all in. And this last one, during the time when I started it and I finished, my mom died, and it was just, we had so much going on and so much to do, and selling her house, getting rid of her furnishings. It was just, I didn't get to write for like 2 or 3 months while some of that was going on.
I found that the adage about build it and it will come is true. I cannot wait for inspiration. It doesn't come. But if I sit down and start fiddling around with the computer, inspiration comes. It's putting the horse before the cart for me. I cannot wait to be inspired, but I become inspired as I write. And maybe that sounds backwards, but that's the way I do it.
I think there's a certain amount of muscle memory. What is it called? Yeah, muscle memory that comes into play when you write. The more you do something, the more intuitive it becomes. And I'm fortunate in that I have retired from my previous career, so I have more time, a little bit more flexible with my time than I was before. That said, I can't imagine going 2 or 3 months without writing on that particular book or any. I couldn't do that. To me, I'm a creature of habit, perhaps. I'm committed to what I do, and so I make the time. Now I have kids and grandkids and family and other interests, and so that all comes into play. But I make it a priority. So sometimes the family obviously has to come first, but then there are sometimes I move the other things around and give myself the time to write.
I just want to add on one thing. I've had this conversation with a lot of different writers, and I've heard other guys and people talk about it. And I may be a bit politically incorrect, but it seems to me that more men do it on a schedule because that's what they're used to doing. They're more structured. And women take what they can get when they can get it. And I've got 10 minutes. I'm going to sit down and work on this for a while. And then here comes another 15 minutes I can use. Oh, yes, this is another one. And so we grab time when we can grab time. And guys are saying, this is my writing time. Oh, okay. Any other questions?
We have a sign.
A sign?
A sign that I put up. I have a sign, you know, those like danger man at work kind of things. I have one of those for a writer at work that I seriously put up on the outside of my little writing room and close the door.
My writing room is in the old dining room, and it's a pass-through between the rest of the house and the kitchen. So I can't close the door. Okay, oh, we have another question.
Do you guys ever get lonely, or how do you handle that?
I'm sorry, what was it?
Do you guys get lonely when you're writing?
Do I get lonely? No.
Ask them.
I just pick up the phone and start texting. My daughter will tell you that. There's my lovely daughter sitting over there with my husband and our friend from Maryland. Yes, no.
Sometimes I'd like to be lonely.
I think the problem these days is the opposite. How do you get enough solitude to write? There are so many distractions, and even distractions that are related to the writing process. Social media and calling to a publisher, going to a SouthWest writers meeting, right? Things like that, that are wonderful activities in and of themselves, but there is a lonely moment in writing, and that's when you face the page, the blank page. Whether you do it longhand, or whether you type it out, or whether you use one of those Dragon naturally speaking software that essentially writing is a lonely thing. You have a story inside you, nobody knows that it's in there or what it is, and you have to figure out by yourself, initially, a way of getting that out. And that's why groups like this and critique groups and people, early readers and so on are so important, because the story appears in a lonely process, but you need to vet it past other people.
Yes, sir.
I've answered that question before. I say the only time I get lonely is when my imaginary friends stop talking.
That's true. That's true. You do get kind of lonely then. Anybody else? Oh, yes, Janet.
Do any of you start writing your first ideas when you want to write a story by hand, or do you go straight to the computer?
Oh, I personally go straight to the computer because my hands get too tired writing, and computer for me.
That's an interesting question. Computer for me, I guess long ago it was writing against my hand, and I have found sometimes I'd be on vacation and I'd get an idea and I would just write it out. And for some reason, what I wrote by hand stays in my memory better.
I started out writing by hand. Yellow pages, notebooks. I have a stack of them 2 feet high. But the older you get, the more painful that becomes. Right? And also I found that as I became a little more facile in writing, I couldn't write fast enough to get the ideas out and the right words out on the page. My mind would be halfway down the block. And so I have now gone to typing. Although I have right next to my bed, I have a notebook and a pen. And if something pops into my head, I'll get up and write it out by hand. If a certain phrase comes to mind, a certain image comes to mind, I will write that down and then incorporate it into my book when I go back to it on the keyboard.
I forgot to mention one of my other favorite writers is Craig Johnson.
Yes.
How many here have read Craig Johnson? Oh my gosh, he's amazing.
Longmire.
Longmire, yeah. I'm on a mailing list of his that he sends out publicity stuff and things that he's doing. He also writes little short stories every now and then and sends them out. But he sent me something the other day, sent all of us something the other day. And it had this long description of this scenery. And I thought, that is so gorgeous. I need to do more of that. And then I thought, no, you're a coast mystery. You don't do that. Okay, anybody else? I imagine you're probably getting tired and itchy and want to go home. And is our time up?
Yeah, well, it's close to it. It's 8:20.
It's 8:20, so, gosh, anything else we can leave you with other than our...
Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Thank you for asking. Somebody was asking me earlier, Sisters in Crime is an organization that was started about, I guess it was about 35 years ago now. And it was started by female mystery writers who were not getting a fair shot from the media and the booksellers and all that stuff. So they formed this Sisters in Crime to promote female writers. However, they have never excluded men from being part of that. And Bob is one of them. And we have a chapter in New Mexico called Crow and Dagger. I mentioned to you earlier that the next meeting is going to be on Tuesday, September the 24th at 7 p.m. at North Domingo Baca Multi-Generational Center, which is just north of Paseo del Norte and just west of Wyoming. So we have a speaker every time. We start at 7 o'clock. We're out of there at 8:30. So come on by and visit with us. We'd love to see you.